Hello guys, welcome to the channel Sort of Mind Physics, and today I am here to discuss with you the basic problems and the important problems of chapter 13 of class 11, that is limits and derivatives. In this video we will be discussing the questions given in the support material that is provided by the government schools and is not for sale. The questions that come in the book are very nice and they are fun to solve. So if you want to get the solutions to these questions, because the questions are from a good level, so watch this video and you will get all the solutions. But before starting, let us discuss one thing. For all the chapters, it's important to know about the formula. So first I am writing down the formulas. So the first formula, we will be writing down the formula of, we will be writing many formulas, but first let's start with important formulas for limits. So the first formula that comes is, which is very famous, you will all know, that is limit x tends to 0 xn minus an upon x minus a. Sorry, here it's not x tends to 0, it's actually x tends to a. Now for this, all of you will know that formula, which is equal to NA n minus 1. This is the first formula. Here n is the exponential power and a is the constant. Then second, this is also a well known formula, limit x tends to 0 sin x upon x. For this, the answer is, it's always 1. So this was our first formula, this was our second formula. Then comes our third formula, that is limit x tends to 0 tan x upon by x equals to 1. This is our third formula. Now coming to the fourth formula, it's limit x tends to 0 1 minus cos x by x, and here the answer is 0. Then comes the fifth formula. Here I am writing on the fifth formula, that is limit x tends to 0 e to the power x minus 1, it's e to the power x minus 1 upon by x equals to 1. Now here we are going to discuss some limits for log. After this formula, now I will be giving some formula based on log, and the sixth formula is based on log, that is limit x tends to 0 ax minus 1 upon x. This is equal to log and base e a. Then comes the seventh formula, that's limit you can say x tends to 0 log 1 plus x by x. For this, the value is 1. This is the value when we are having x tends to 0 and log is taken as the log is taken outside, and we have 1 plus x inside the parenthesis. Then the eighth formula is limit x tends to 0 1 plus x to the power 1 by x. For this, the answer is E. And finally, we have a last but not the least, that is a ninth formula, or you can say the ninth expression, that is lim x tends to 0 minus function of x equals to lim x tends to 0 plus, that is again function of minus x. These are some important formula for the limits, and you should note it down carefully, because in the upcoming, in the forward video, I mean to say in the future of this video, you will be needing these formulas desperately. So please note it down. After that, you can pause the video and note this down. Then I'll clean the board and then we'll write some formulas for derivatives. Please note it down. So now we start with derivatives. For the derivative, the first formula is differentiation of sin x with respect to x. All of you will know this, and for this the answer is cos x. Okay, now comes the second one, that is differentiation of cos x with respect to x again. For this, the answer is minus sine x. Then the third one, that is differentiation of tan x with respect to x, and it is sec square x. Then again the fourth one is differentiation of cot x with respect to x, and for this the formula is minus cosec square x. Then the fifth formula is differentiation of sec x with respect to x. For this the formula is sec x dot tan x. And the sixth one, that is differentiation of cosec x with respect to x. For this the formula is minus cosec x multiplied by cot x. These are the formulas for the differentiation of the various trigonometric identities, and here I am writing down some other differentiation formulas. That is the seventh formula, you can say, that is differentiation of xn, x to the power n, with respect to x. For this the answer is nx n minus 1. Then eighth one, this one is differentiation of root x with respect to x. For this it's 1 by 2 root x. Then ninth one is differentiation of a constant. Any constant can be a, b, c, d, e, f, g, but not x. Differentiation of a constant with respect to x. For this the answer is 0. And then similarly, if we have differentiation of x with respect to x, this is the 10th one. For this the answer will be 1. Then the 7th one is, I mean to say the 11th one, is differentiation of e to the power x with respect to x. For this, the answer remains the same. It's ex itself. It does not change. And for this, differentiation of ex to the power with respect to x. For this, it's ex. It does not change. Then 12th we have, that is differentiation of log x. This is an important one if you are preparing for your competitive exams. Then this often occurs, and let me remind you again, for competitive exams it is very important to know the basic formula of calculus, because without that you will hardly be able to crack it, like IIT, NDA and other important exams which include maths. Without calculus you will be barely able to calculate it. That's a different thing, that in boards it's not given much priority, but in competitive exams this is one of the most important topics. And for differentiation of log x, it's 1 by x. And then comes the 13th formula, that is differentiation of any constant to the power x with respect to x. For this, the formula is ax log a. These are some important formulas for differentiation, and before this the formula for limits have been given. So note this one also down carefully. You can pause the video and note this down.